But you can never walk alone. But you can never walk alone. On the way to being free. We're only human, yeah. But you can never walk alone. On the way to being free.
Right, so there is my housing. It's clean, it's out, it's done. My lenses are out. I now have what I need to make my own custom lenses. So now we are going to move on to our S13. I am actually custom making my own epoxy resin clear tail light housing. So I've got to mold the lenses and then make my own lenses. That way I can use clears and I can use whatever color I want. And I can also produce my own tail lights. However, because you guys are doing DIY, you don't need to do that. Just get yourself some, you know, the fluorescent lighting plastic covers you get, so the ones you see in schools and stuff. Just get some of that. It's already malleable, it's pretty bendy, and all you need to do is cut it out to the right shape. Use your old ones as a template, and then Sikaflex in the new ones. And that's pretty much it. How are you guys going with yours? Hopefully you haven't cracked any. Don't be too sad if you do, it happens, and it can be fixed. You just need to heat up that lens and then super glue it back on. If you crack across the lens, you're probably just going to have to buy more tail lights or make your own lens. Or hopefully, by that time you might be able to buy my lenses and you can just replace the lenses with cool lenses. I might think about doing a skyline tail light tutorial if there's enough interest in it. Let me know in the comments below. The S13 tail light does not have that little rib I'm talking about. So this nice little plastic rib kind of in there. So that'll separate the two lenses. Now the reason I'm telling you this is because when you go to pull these tail lights apart, the red one actually sits on top of the orange one. So you have a step here. So there's a kind of an order you have to get the S13 tail lights out in, or you'll break this orange one. Now I'll show you exactly why. So I'll show you a bit better with the GoPro. Here's the red one. So you can see the edges here are nice and smooth. However, with the with the reverse one and with the indicator, so the reverse, you can see there's no lip on the top there, but you can see down the bottom here you have a small lip. But again, there's no lip on the top here, but there's a lip right here. So this sits on the tail light like this because it does not have that little black bit. So you have to pull out the red one before the orange. So make sure with S13, it's really important, the red has to come out first, followed by the orange, followed finally by the reverse light. And the reason for this is because all of these have little edges on the lips of the lenses, and if you don't pull them out in the right order, you'll break all the lenses. Okay, let's get to the fun part. On a side note, I picked good wood for it, but just be careful your wood doesn't catch fire if you leave it in the oven. I'm not having that problem yet, so I'm just warning you guys if you pick some different kind of wood. Alright, so like I said, we have to start with the red first. This end comes in and under all the way down to here, so there's no way I can get the screwdriver in and pry it out without damaging it and most likely cracking it. So I'm going to start this tail light from the top up here and go from there. Now this might not actually be hot enough because, like I said, this tail light's quite long and I haven't preheated. Yep, no, alright, so here is a prime example. So the end here is nice and hot because it was in the oven first. However, this end is still pretty cool. So I'm going to put it back in the oven. However, I'm going to turn it around and try and heat the glue up on this end and work my way into getting the tail light hot enough to start prying these out properly. Otherwise, I risk breaking the lens. Screwdriver's pretty good at the moment though. If you are doing your tail lights and watching this at the same time, reminder, clean your screwdrivers. Score! Alright, let's check on this tail again. We are good to start. This is quite good. Alright, so remember that trick I told you guys with the 180SX tail light where you push on the lens? We're going to do the same with the S13. So what I'm trying to do is loosen up that glue enough that I can get the tail light out quite easily. Say this to start off with, S13 tail lights are harder to do. Also another quick note with S13, the S13 reds have these little bits on them as well. So you need to get a screwdriver in there and wedge them out when you get the lens out. So I'm going to try going from the back here. I'm going to lift up the plastic. I'm going to try and get this lens out. Once you get this started, it's not too bad. But yeah, see, it's scary to get these started. There we go, it's starting to move. It's not ideal, but it does happen, so just be prepared for that. Alright, I am going to put this tail light back in the oven because it doesn't hurt to heat it up a million times. Alright, let's try that again. Oh, yes, we are hot. You can see the S13 tail light goes down a lot further than the 180SX tail light as well. I'm really going to break up all the glue on the S13 tail light. So much more tail light depth compared to the 180 tail lights. And again, remember with these tails, you can't just pry them out like I was talking about because you will snap what I did the first time. We need to find a way to pull them out that way. It's not too hot down here, so I might actually throw it back in the oven. This is my progress. So I'm making sure I try to loosen as much of that glue as I can. It is very, very solid. Alright, cool. Now, you can see the gap. I'm trying to pull them away from each other. That way I'm not going to break the tail light. There we go. You can see how tricky this actually is. Alright, well that wasn't the cleanest way to get the tail light out, but it's out. And now I need to get a heat gun in future to get all this off because this is really sticky and it will go really hard. I didn't crack the lens, which is good. That's this glue. The only damage, unfortunately, casualty of the lens is this tiny little bit here. But I've got the piece for it, so I can glue that back on. Alright, so that was a mission, but we've now got the brake out of the S13 tail light. Unfortunately, we copped a small casualty on the edge here. You can do it, phone, camera, yes. So I haven't snapped the housing, but I have done a little bit of damage there. I've also very, very, very slightly put a bit of a warp on the edge of here because it was too hot and I've had it too close to the heater when I pulled it out, and I went straight for it and I've got the screwdriver in underneath it and I've just slightly disfigured it. But again, I don't have to worry about this because I'm not using these. This is just good tips for you guys, so when you do pull them out yourself, you now know what to do and what to be careful with. The housing itself, unlike my other one, hasn't copped much damage except for this little bit here. I kind of overheated this edge a little bit more because I needed to get the glue nice and warm, but it was so hot down there. Alright, so it's got to go now back into the oven. Now, number 2, remember, indicator next. Don't go for this one yet because this one is actually sitting underneath your indicator. So this is sitting underneath, sorry, this is sitting on top of the white indicator, so you can't get the white one out before you get the orange one out. Make sure you get this one out first, followed by this one. Because yeah, you can't pry in there. I should have mentioned this earlier, S13 taillights have a lot more glue than 180SX taillights, as you can see. So they will be a lot harder to get out, and you've just got to be really careful and take your time with these, getting them out. Alright, back in the oven. A little disappointed it didn't come out as clean as the 180SX taillight, but like I said, it happens. We're trying to make DIY stuff here, so things are bound to happen. Not all taillights have the same amount of glue on them and you might have a friend that's helping you out, so it is a good idea to probably have a friend to give you a hand with this, to hold onto the tail light while you're using both the screwdrivers to wedge into the lens to pull it out, that kind of thing. Try and make it as easy as you can for yourself and have a nice big prepared area, a friend to help out, all the right tools, several screwdrivers. 2 is probably not enough, to be honest. 4 would have probably been better to be able to learn to be able to put tail light in, wedge it and then move down, wedge it again, move the front ones, move them down, and just do it's called an Indian effect, I think. It's where you kind of just do that. Alright, are we ready for this indicator? Good news is, because the indicator is a lot shorter, it's a lot easier to get out and there's less light chance of breaking the lens or disfiguring it in any way. It is hot, nice and hot. Oh yes, very hot. Oh yeah, right, this one should be a lot easier. And I forgot to clean my screwdrivers, didn't I? It's in too much of a rush. So if I didn't clean them, it turns out this, and now I've got this big concrete blob on my screwdriver that I need right now. Let's go for this edge first. So I'm going to go for the gap here, and we're going to try and wedge it up. I'm wedging it from the bottom. I'm also got to get the glue out. The more glue I can get off, the easier it's going to come out. And the less damage it will do the tails. Alright, let's get this indicator out. So I'm just going to pry right down the bottom, so I'm not even using the lip this time. I want to try and get one end completely out before I go the whole way down the tail. Sorry if this is not the best angle. I just want to get to it while it's still warm. Again, loosening the tail light lens out of the glue. There's so much glue in here. Maybe I don't have to get it back in the oven. It's coming up pretty easily now. Yep, no, I'm going to do it anyway. So I have actually loosened it out. But as you can see, the glue is really holding on. So back in it goes. Your screwdrivers start getting really dirty, throw them in the oven like this. Just remember, when you pull them out, they're going to be pretty damn hot. So don't leave them in there long. Only 30 seconds or so, just to heat up the glue that's on them so you can get them off again. Unfortunately, we have lost the GoPro battery, so we're going to be working off just this camera. There we go, nice and easy way of getting the glue off. Okay, we have the tail light now. It has melted itself back into its housing. So I have to pull it back out again. Now once the lenses come out of these tail light housings, they are quite flimsy. There we go, it's the easiest way to get this out. And remember, when you are pulling this out, pull it towards you, like that way. And there we have it. I did say there is a lot of glue on these tails. I'm not too worried about this because I can get this all off later with a heat gun. Oh, lucky last, we have our reverse light. Should be able to get this one out fairly easily. It's quite small. Just depends if it got heated up enough. Yes, probably did, judging by that. This is how I'm currently doing the tail lights, because S13 tail lights do not fit in an oven very well. So I've aimed the lens at the fan. Go tail light. Oh, so much glue on this tail light. Let's try and get some of it off before we have to get that tail light out. Lens, lens! God. I meant lens. If I find out a better way to get this glue off, like a cleaning agent or something, I'll leave a comment of it in the comments. If you guys end up finding a better way to get this glue off, please leave a comment in the comments for us, so we all don't have to go through this again. Now this will be very hot. So I'm going to loosen the glue again. Send you guys around. There you go. So I'm going to loosen this glue a bit more. Listen, you definitely made this hard for us, I'll give you that. So the very reason I'm actually making my own is because I don't want to have to keep doing this to make custom tail lights. Because this is like you can see, this is a very lengthy process. and you always run the risk of breaking something. There's a little lens cover, and voila. Now, quick on before this gets too cold, I'm going to try and dig out a bit more of this glue, so when I put my new lenses in, I have somewhere to put them. It's a process, but there you have it. That is how you remove the lenses out of the 180SX and S13 tail lights. So you can now replace the lenses with your own, or get creative. You can make Nismo style tails, you can make clear tails, anything you like. And again, like I said, go to your local Bunnings store. You can find plastics like this that go in like your school lights and fluorescents and stuff. And if you find a nice malleable bendy one, that would probably be better to use than something solid. Try to avoid anything that's hard because you won't be able to bend it across the shape of the tail. Anyway, that's it. It is a messy process. It's not fun. It can be tedious and time consuming, but stick at it, take your time, be careful with it, and you'll be fine. And remember, clean your screwdrivers, otherwise they'll turn to concrete. If you guys enjoyed this video, please like, comment, and subscribe. And let me know how you guys go with your tail lights in the comment section below. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll catch you guys next time. Hot tip. Don't forget the wood. Pull the wood out of the oven. Gah. I've got it everywhere. It's stuck to me. It's stuck to everything. So you should do like a grand response on the deck, your deck, okudishimasu, and do like a, this is proudly sponsored by Nissan. See you.